Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Crosshairs. My name is Randolph Ramsey. With me as always on the couch is Ms. Laura Parker and Mr. James Kozanecki. And we do have one person missing, that is Dan Chiappini, but I think I know where he actually is this week, guys.
He's in Iran this week?
No, I don't think he's in Iran, but I think he's still in hiding after sending all those emails to Treasury.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
He likes to live the troublesome lifestyle, doesn't he?
yeah, the Australian Federal Police were knocking at our door, but they took Dan's computer and we don't know what's happened since. But we're going to move on from that because Dan is obviously still away on holidays, but we're still here to bring you all the latest stuff on Crosshairs. Cause what is on this week's show?
Alright, we're going to be taking a look at Star Wars The Old Republic and Alan Wake, as well as talking to the developers from both of those games. Laura got a chance to chat to the voice of Mario at E3, and we're going to be taking a look at what you guys have to say about the new AFL game, so stay tuned.
So as Cos mentioned, Laura was lucky enough to actually, chat with the voice of Mario at E3.
Did he talk like that all the
I don't know
time?
if lucky is the right word when you see the interview, but yes.
But
Yes.
did he talk like that the whole time, or?
No, he gave me a few, actually too many kind of impersonations of Mario, but he,
Okay.
he does have a normal voice. It's
Yeah.
not his real voice.
Oh.
Speaking of impersonations, we're going to throw out a few of our awesome, lame impersonations, game character impersonations at you this week because we're really nice like that.
And lame.
Yeah, and nice and lame. Laura, do one for us. Come on.
Alright.
What's your impersonation?
Objection!
Who was that?
Well, guess.
It wasn't Phoenix Wright, that's for sure.
No,
Oh,
it wasn't
sorry.
Phoenix Wright. It's Phoenix Wright.
It was
come
Phoenix
on,
Wright. That was
Phoenix
very
Wright.
good. That was very
That's
good.
what he does. He stands up and
Phoenix
says,
Wright does do that.
"Objection."
So stay tuned for more impersonations as the show goes on. So it's obviously a real good sticking point. Before we go on there, Laura's going to tell us all about the news this week. Laura, what's been happening?
All right, we're going to kick things off with some publisher rivalry for this week. Speaking to the Times last week, Activision Blizzard CEO Robert Kotick has threatened to pull support for Sony's PS3 and PSP as early as 2010, saying the return on creating games for the platforms isn't as good as on competing systems. Kotick said it was too expensive to develop titles for Sony's consoles and called for a PS3 price cut. Sony hit back, releasing a rather bland press statement claiming they greatly value their business relationships with publishing partners, but made no direct response to Kotick. Rockstar Games announced this week that GTA Chinatown Wars will be coming to the PSP later this year. The game will be released on traditional retail discs, as well as a digital download through the PSN for Sony's new PSP Go console, which will be available in Australia on October 1. Rockstar has noted the PSP version of the game won't just be a port of its DS counterpart, promising enhanced widescreen graphics, improved lighting and animations, and new story missions. Now, last week we talked about one industry analyst's views on Modern Warfare 2 being the biggest game release of this year, and this week it looks like Activision is following suit. According to a US advertising magazine, Advertising Age, Activision's global ad agency has been given the task of making the November 10 release of Modern Warfare 2 the biggest entertainment launch of all time. Now, the first non-teaser trailer for the game made high-profile debut during the NBA Finals in May in America, and the marketing campaign has also been extended to billboards, print, online, social media, and others. According to Advertising Age, Acti is specifically aiming to top the launch of GTA 4, which generated $310 million in global sales in 24 hours when it was released in April last year on the PS3 and 360. Microsoft made a bold move earlier this month, changing the name of Xbox Live Community Games to Indie Games. The update also ushered in the ability to integrate the new Xbox Live avatar system into user-created games. Now, since this will no doubt lead to some problems, Microsoft has since announced a number of strict rules for independent titles which feature avatars in their in-game function. No acts of aggressive or threatening manner, no dismemberment, decapitation, maiming, or mutation. Players looking to artificially enhance their avatar's proportions will find themselves short on options, as will those looking to make their in-game personas excrete obscene bodily functions or substances. No surprises there. Avatars will be able to die, though this death will not be permanent. Speech is forbidden, though they are allowed to laugh and cry. And as can be guessed, sexual, profane, or vulgar acts are out, and so is glorified criminality. Finally, avatars won't be able to hold or partake in any illegal substances like drugs or alcohol. Finally, in news this week, Mortal Kombat creator Ed Boon has confirmed the next installment of the series, tentatively known as Mortal Kombat 9, will be bloody and violent and will definitely get an M rating. Boon also said the game is over a year away but did not reveal who the publisher will be. And on to charts for this week. The Sims 3 has knocked off Wii Fit from the top spot, while Prototype on the 360 and PS3 makes its debut at number 3 and 6 respectively. And that's all for news this week. Stay tuned for more.
It's been a pretty quiet week on the classification front, but we're pretty sure that you'll all be glad to hear that All Star Cheerleaders 2 has passed through the classification board with a G rating. In this game, you get to travel to 14 exotic locations as well as perform some new moves, including formation changes, and it'll take advantage of the Wii balance board, so you'll be able to perform some moves through that. This one's coming out in October. Next up, we have Turtles in Time for Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network. This was originally released in 1992, but Ubisoft are bringing the classic SNES brawl into the next gen with a new 3D graphics engine, all new enemies, and 2 new levels. Turtles in Time Reshelled will be out next month, and it's being rated PG.
Alright, it's lame game impersonation time yet again. Okay, Cos, it's your turn. I think I can guess what this is, but go ahead.
This is pretty embarrassing.
Alright.
This is Snake. Metal Gear.
Is that it?
That's actually
good.
pretty
Because-
convincing.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's
Snake can barely talk as it is, and as he gets older, he
Yeah.
sort of just rambles more, and the Metal Gear gets turned into a Metal Gear, and then it just
Yeah.
turns into more rambling.
But we're not advertising smoking.
yeah.
No,
it's
if you-
the
if you-
emphysema.
It's just
If you play the game, you know that it eventually kills him of lung cancer, not Metal Gears, which is ironic.
Yeah. Okay, so that was Metal Gear Cause. We're moving on to our preview section now. And the first game that we're going to talk about this week is the new Star Wars MMO, The
Yes.
Old Republic, which Laura got to interview one of the developers at E3, yeah?
Yes, that's
So
right.
just for people who don't know anything about The Old Republic, what is it all about, man?
Okay, so it's an MMO. It's done by BioWare, and it's set in the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic universe. So, as you know, with Knights of the Old Republic, it's a brand new story which takes place a few thousand years before the original films are set, and players can explore both the light and dark sides of the Force.
Have they announced any of the planets you'll be able to explore?
I don't know.
Well, they've actually been pretty sort of mum on this so far
Yeah.
because as
Yeah.
far as I know, they haven't actually released that much gameplay
No.
footage.
No,
They
no.
released that really awesome kick-ass trailer.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's like a
There's been
20-minute
a-
demo.
Yeah, there's been a few comics as well, like just giving backstory to the game.
Yeah, but I'm sure all the popular planets will be there, like Tatooine and all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But anyway, who did you get to speak to at E3, Laura?
I spoke to Richard Burgle, who is the co-director of BioWare Austin, about Star Wars: The Old Republic.
My name is Rich Vogel. I am the co-GM at BioWare Austin. Basically, this story takes place 300 years after the original KOTOR, which is what it's based on, Knights of the Old Republic, and is 2,700 years before the movies. So it gives us a lot of leeway to do a lot of stuff we couldn't do if we were near the movies. So there are a lot of Jedi, for instance, in our game. We can, as far as classes go, we announced the Bounty Hunter, and we announced the Trooper, and we announced the Smuggler. We've been developing for about 3 years. We're still not ready to release yet. We have a ways to go. Well, basically, what we did is we kind of have a very highly realistic stylized, we call it stylized realism in our game. And it allows us to be able to work on lower end systems. And what that style allows us to do is we have a lot more latitude. It won't age like other styles have, and it adds kind of a unique look to our game. So we decided to go with that. And also, when we decided to design our character, we wanted to make him look heroic. And that was the other thing that we did as well as far as stylization goes. We have 8 classes announced, and each class is around 200 hours of story.
So that was Star Wars: The Old Republic, and before we move on to our next one, time for yet another lame game character impersonation. Laura Parker.
Ah,
Is that Jaws? Jaws from the
Jaws.
game.
Jaws 2! No.
There was a Jaws game.
No,
Yeah.
look at my bow. Look at my bow. I've got a bow. See,
Okay.
bow?
Okay,
So it's
Lara Croft.
Miss Pac-Man.
Miss Pac-Man.
Miss Pac-Man. Okay.
Where?
Does Miss Pac-Man actually ever say anything? He
No,
just
it's
does
just
that.
He just eats cherries.
Pac-Man.
I guess you eat cherries, so
Okay. All right, speaking of Pac-Man, we're going to go into Alan Wake, which is, the
Tenuous link.
Yeah.
sequel to the Pac-Man franchise. No, this is a big Xbox 360 exclusive that has been brewing for quite a while now. Now, Laura and Dan actually got to speak with someone at E3 about it. Laura, before we go into that interview, a little bit about Alan Wake, please. It's very sort of alone in the darkish type, survival horror type.
Well, it's a psychological thriller, so not so much a horror game, but it's just an action adventure, and it puts you in the shoes of Alan Wake, who is a fiction writer, and he goes on holiday with his wife Alice, and she disappears, and then he has to find her, and as the game progresses, he discovers that whoever's holding her hostage is kind of like taking bits from his book and kind of recreating them in real life.
Okay, so can you talk to us about like how the dark and light elements of the game work?
Yeah, sure. So basically, Alan's enemy in the game is darkness, and he has to use light to counteract that. So
not the band, the darkness,
No.
like actual darkness.
Yes,
Okay.
Randy,
Can't he just-
actual dark.
Does he just turn the lights on? Does that fix it?
No, okay. So let me explain. So all the enemies are kind of focused around the darkness. So the darkness can control humans and machines, vehicles, trucks, animals, that sort of thing. And the way Alan uses light is he's got his flashlight and flares and street lights to throw off the darkness shield, and then he can use his gun to actually heal the enemies. So
Yeah,
that's how it
because
works.
bullets usually work. So, who did you...
This game is about light and dark.
It does look very interesting. You've seen the
does.
gameplay footage
Yeah.
on GameSpot. It does look really awesome. But Laura, who did you actually speak to at E3 about this?
Well, we spoke to the writer of Alan Wake, whose name is Sam Lake, and he's from Remedy Games.
Alan Wake is a psychological action thriller. The main character, Alan Wake himself, is a best-selling writer whose life turns to a nightmare when his wife disappears on their vacation to the idyllic small town of Bright Falls in Washington. And Wake's thriller novel, his latest work, begins to come true before his eyes. Wake's thriller novel talks about the dark presence that has been unleashed. It's taking over everything in its path, from people and animals to inanimate objects, turning them violently against him. And light is a key gameplay element for us. The dark presence that protects those that it has possessed, make them invulnerable to normal damage. So the player needs to destroy that protecting dark presence with light before he can really fight the enemies. This is a psychological thriller, and we keep asking the question whether this is really happening or if Wake has gone mad. And to give you an example, he's trying to look for his lost wife, and Alice suffers from the fear of the dark. And early on in the game, she tells him how it makes her feel. And what Wake experiences in the game is very similar to that. So there is that question, what is going on? Once you deal with the protecting dark presence, the enemy is still a threat. So we do have a selection of firearms in the game as well. Wake is an everyman. He's not an action hero, but as a writer, he has written several crime thrillers, and he has been to the target practice range to do research. So he can manage his way around with guns as well. Remedy is a small team, and we have been in a fortunate position where we can take our time, do research, do prototypes. We make our own technology and tools, and we are not a factory that bangs out title after title. For us, we feel that we are more like craftsmen. That it's a labor of love for us, and now we feel we have the right balance in the game, and it's looking good. I'm Sam Lake, the lead writer at Remedy. I'm working on Alan Wake. Currently we are focusing on Xbox 360, and the game will be out in the spring 2010.
That was Sam Lake talking about Alan Wake, which kind of,
They got
it's a little bit
freaky names.
confusing sometimes. Okay, so Cos, it's now your turn for the lame game character impersonation. Go!
Well, seeing he's in the new Max Payne screenshots came out, I'm going to do Max Payne.
Look at me, I'm Max Payne. My family got killed and I'm gonna go chase off the druggies and then I'm gonna make a real crap movie about it, so there.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Max Payne does. He just chases druggies and makes bad movies.
And I'm pretty
With Mark
sure
Wahlberg.
that was a verbatim quote from the end of Max Payne 2.
Yeah.
So that was excellent. Well done. I think it deserves a round of
Yes,
applause.
very
Of
good.
course. We'll move on now to the whole reason we've been doing these crappy impersonations in the first place, and that is because Laura actually got to meet the voice of
It's
Mario.
your fault.
It's your fault, Laura.
Sorry.
That we've debased ourselves, not me, but these guys.
Well,
You
you'll
do
be
it
doing
later.
one
I'll be
We're doing one later. So Laura, who did you actually get to speak to at E3, man?
I spoke to the man behind Mario. His name is Charles Martinet, and he took us through kind of how he started out doing the voice of Mario and kind of how the games have progressed. And he's a very personable, likable character, so enjoy.
Hello, it's me, Charles Martinet.
Hi Charles. So you're the voice of Mario, is that right?
It's me, Mario, and Wario, everybody today, and Luigi, and Waluigi, everybody cheated but me, and baby Luigi too, and baby Mario.
How did you start doing the voice of Mario?
You know, it's funny, I actually crashed an audition 20 years ago to play a plumber from Brooklyn in a trade show and using a real-time animation device, and I walked in the audition, I knocked on the door, can I possibly, he said, oh, already put the camera away, but all right. Be this plumber, make up a video game, do whatever you want, and because you'll be talking to people all day. And when you're done talking, that's your audition. And I thought, well, Italian plumber from Brooklyn. Hey, how you doing? I'm under your sink here. What do you want? No, something nicer. And then video game, I played Pong, and I played Space Invaders. And I thought, well, I better make up something. And all of a sudden, action. And I said, hello, I'm a Mario. Let's make a pizza pie together. You go get the sausage, I'm gonna get the spaghetti. You put the spaghetti and the sausage in the pizza. Then I chase you the pizza. Then we're gonna chase the pizza. And I don't know what I said for the next 25 minutes, but I didn't stop until the tape ran out.
Alright, that's pretty amazing.
And I guess I never have.
Yeah.
It's been a wonderful process for me, and what an honor and a joy to play the part. And Mario is such a great character. He evolves just slightly, the little changes that are so subtle, but the games have all been so fantastic. I've loved everyone. Galaxy was fantastic. I love Mario Sunshine. I love the new Super Mario Brothers game on the Wii. Fantastic. So I love them all. I'm easy, but I guess the one I can do best is Mario Kart.
Cool. So what do you think about the new Mario games that were announced by Nintendo?
I am so excited. I can't wait. Super Mario, the brothers, and the Galaxy, and the Mario Luigi. It's going to be a fun year for me.
So you're kind of a superstar around here, I guess. Everyone's been coming up to you and getting you to do the Mario voice.
Yeah, it's so sweet. I'm such a small part of the thing. Mr. Miyamoto is the genius. He's got this great creative team in America and Japan, all over the world that create these incredible games. And I get to come on and put a little icing on the top and go, woohoo! And have fun, so.
Alright. Thank you very much for your time, Mario.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Woohoo!
Well, Randy's made Cos and I suffer, and now it's his turn to suffer. Randy, take it away.
I think arguably he has to suffer the most out of between you and all
Who's
of us.
your lame-ass impersonation of?
I think it's pretty awesome, but okay, here's my lame ass impersonation. See if you can get this. To camera 1, 3, 2, 1. Squirtle! No, wait. Pikachu!
Oh God.
Yeah?
Yeah, alright.
This is not at all
Just
scary.
because you have the costume.
You'll be able to
doesn't
embarrass
matter.
your kid with that when the time comes.
Yeah, like when my girlfriend's giving birth, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be wearing this, just like waiting at the birth canal, going, "Come in, kid." All right, let's. It's actually pretty hot, so I'm gonna take the hood off. We're almost finished with this edition of Crosshairs, and as we always do near the end of the show, we check in with Cos to talk about community, competitions, what's coming up. Let's start with community, and we're talking about some pretty good reaction from the community on
Yeah,
this, right?
the AFL game. I mean, it was bound to
AFL
get
game, yeah.
It was bound to get a reaction because it's been 2 years since we've seen an AFL game. So I'll start it off with Hunter Cal. He said, "I'm not holding my breath on this one. There's never been a good AFL game to grace our presence. This game needs to be given a decent budget with a decent engine to complement it. I'll need to see it before I believe it, guys." Next up, we got Kangox, who said, "I'm so pumped for this. Hopefully I'll be able to play it more consistently than my beloved Hawks are at the moment." I'm a big AFL fan, but they're not doing very well at the moment, Randy.
They're mid-table. The Brisbane Lions, the mighty Brisbane Lions, beat them a couple of weekends ago. So yeah,
Mighty Brisbane
last year's
Lions.
premiers. I don't think they'll make the finals, but hey, what do I know?
Nothing.
Nothing, apparently. Okay, go ahead.
And finally, we got San 007, and he said, "I can't wait for this. Honestly, I don't mind if the gameplay is the same as AFL Live 2004, as long as the game comes out on Xbox 360, I'm going to buy it.
Okay, thanks for that, Cos. Now let's talk about competitions. What are we giving away on GameSpot at the moment, mate?
Alright, so we're giving away a copy of Fight Night Round 4 on your platform of choice thanks to the GameSpot. There'll also be a bonus to go along with that, but we can't quite announce it yet. We're also giving away 10 original soundtracks, The Hangover, as well as movie tickets for that one. And the big prize for at the moment is 2 people are going to win 4 PSPs and 4 copies of Monster Hunter Freedom to go along with those, so you can play along with your friends. That's pretty cool.
That is a pretty awesome prize. Before we finish the show, Cos, it's a very big list of releases this week, so take us through some of the highlights, man.
It is. I had to cull it down a fair bit, so probably the biggest game to come out this week would be Guitar Hero Smash Hits for PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Wii, and PlayStation 2. Alongside the movie release, we've got Transformers Revenge of the Fallen on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Wii, PC, PS2, PSP, and the Nintendo DS. We've also got Monster Hunter Freedom Unite for the PlayStation Portable, Resident Evil Archives Resident Evil for the Wii, and Spore Galactic Adventures for the PC.
Thanks for that, Cos. A very varied list out there. So that is the end of Corsair. Thanks very much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed our really lame impersonations, because we really didn't enjoy having to do them. It's kind of embarrassing for the resume.
Is that the reason why you're not allowed near schools anymore?
Yeah, at least 200 feet away from primary schools.
Yeah.
High schools are cool. That's it for this week. We'll see you for the next show. Bye, guys.
Bye.
What?